rev up your engines. Today I'm going to help you answer the question, do I need to change the coolant in my car? And to answer that question correctly, I'll give you a little history lesson. In my grandfather's day, they actually used alcohol mixed with water to keep it from freezing in the winter. But then when it got above 32 outside, the alcohol would boil off and then the car would overheat because there wasn't enough coolant inside the radiator. So then they came out with first real antifreeze, which was ethylene glycol based, the classical green stuff. But again, in my grandfather's day, they said, oh, that's a permanent antifreeze. You don't have to worry about it like the alcohol boiling off. So they left it in. Well, they found out it wasn't permanent. Over time it would corrode and it would destroy the engines. So they had to change it every 3 years because the additives would break down. But that was called inorganic acid technology, IAT. But the inorganic acid technology has its downfalls. You still have to change it every 3 years because the additives break down, and being inorganic, it conducts electricity better, and there's galvanic responses inside that eventually it'll start eating up parts of the metal of the car. But then in the 90s, they started to come out full blast with organic acid technology coolants, which can last 5 years, 150,000 miles, and some of the newer ones can last even longer. The newer Hoat or organic acid technology coolants, they last longer, they're less corrosive, they're less poisonous to animals if you spill some and they drink it, and it's meant to be changed about every 5 years or 100,000 miles or so. So if you're the type of person that only drives their car 100,000 miles or less and gets rid of it, heck, you don't have to change it at all then. And to finish the history lesson, there's Hoat coolants, which stands for hybrid organic acid technology, like this pink Toyota one. These Hoat coolants are the creme de la creme. They add silicates to protect the aluminum, which the Hoats don't have. So it actually is best for modern aluminum-based engines, and some of them you can change them every 7 years or 150,000 miles. Now the reason these Hoat coolants can last so long is that they contain less electrically conductive materials than the older coolants did, so it leads to less degradation of the rubber hoses and the metal parts because it doesn't conduct the electricity that the other coolants did. Now this might sound a bit crazy to you, but you can actually get a voltmeter. You can measure the voltage in the coolant in your radiator system. When it gets old and dirty, and especially if it's an inorganic acid coolant, it will conduct electricity that starts to eat things up, and it can even mess with the computer sensors of your car. And that's why I've gone to this Hoat coolant. Not only does it last a long time, but it doesn't conduct electricity all that well, so it doesn't mess with your electrical system, and it doesn't cause any kind of galvanic responses that are going to eat up the aluminum in your engine. But of course, everything eventually breaks down. Even a Hoat coolant, they say you should change it every 7 years or 150,000 miles in a lot of these models. Check with your own make and model just to make sure when you have to change it. But you can go a long time before you have to change it in a modern car. And the important thing to remember is, when it is time to change your coolant, use the correct coolant. Now the Hoat is the best. So if you want to keep your car lasting the longest, in any car, if you flush the whole system out, you can then replace it with Hoat coolant and you'll have the best protection available. But whatever you do, do not mix the inorganic acid, old green stuff, with the organic stuff, or mix the organic stuff with the hybrid organic acid technology. You want to use one type in your car. And like I said, if you flush the whole thing out, then you can use whatever one you want, but the Hoats are the best. They're going to last the longest, so do that. And I know people are going to say, but Scotty, the Hoats cost so much money. They don't cost all that much money anymore. They did originally, but now there's many aftermarket companies that make them, and you might pay an extra $3 or $4 a gallon. What's that to the life of a car? And since this is Mechanic Mondays, I'm going to give away a gallon of Hoat coolant. If you want to try to win, just place a clean, non-offensive comment on the YouTube comments below, and the computer will randomly pick the winner. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.